Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast Fast Lane Show. I am your host, the coach, Philip Kraft. This is our in-depth driver breakdown for the second Cup race at Michigan on Sunday. So they raced on Saturday. They're racing again today on Sunday. They're going to be mostly using the same cars that they drove on Saturday, except for those that may have wrecked their cars. They'll be going to a backup car. That can be good or bad. We'll talk about that when we get to some of those drivers that did crash. The drivers that raced here yesterday, the top 20 are inverted to start this race. So like Kevin Harvick, your race winner will be starting in 20th position today. If you watched the show before yesterday's race, hopefully you did as well as I did, if not better. I managed to cash in 100% of my NASCAR lineups. I keep saying this, and I truly believe it. I am providing the best DFS NASCAR content out there that is not behind a paid subscription. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe and like button, and I can continue to crank these breakdowns out for you. Yesterday, I was sweating in the final laps. I was flirting with that $100,000. And then Ricky Stenhouse cut a tire and fell back. He was running in the top 10 all day long. And I was like, oh, yes. But I will be going back to Ricky Stenhouse today. That's just one of the risks that you take when you are playing Ricky Stenhouse. But we'll talk about him when we get to him. So what we know about Michigan. It's a 2-mile oval, and it has mostly been dominated by the Fords. Yesterday was no exception. However, the Toyotas looked strong, as they usually do. And in the end, the only Chevrolet that was in real contention for the win was Chase Elliott. I did have Elliott ranked in my top 5 yesterday, but Harvick was ranked number 1, and he will be again today. He dominates his place, and then starting in the 20th position, he has lots of room to move up. So even if he doesn't win, but he gets us a top 5, even maybe a top 10, he has paid off his price point. So we don't have to have the winner there. We just need points, and there's going to be a lot of points to have. The winning lineup today is going to be one of those really high numbers, and there's a lot of different ways you can go with your lineup today. So, one other Chevrolet that was riding in the top 10 for most of the day, and I already talked about this, was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Also, Kurt Busch had a good day. He finished 10th. He was pretty much riding there all day. He started 10th. He finished 10th. He never really contended for the lead. He just kind of stayed right there. Kurt Busch is starting 11th today. He could move up. He could just kind of stay right there. So it's a safe play. All right. So we would like to find at least one dominator, and that's the one that leads the most laps, and maybe even a secondary dominator. Yesterday, Kevin Harvick was your dominator for the race, starting in 20th position. It's going to take him a few laps to get up there to be contending for the lead. So how many laps? I don't know. I mean, he could feasibly get up there in 3 laps. It could take him 20 laps. And there's also the possibility that he may never get up there. So we may end up having to look somewhat elsewhere for that secondary dominator or the primary dominator. However, Kevin Harvick, strong again to be the dominator. So let's get to the breakdown. I have drivers ranked in order via Fantasy Forecast grade. However, I have upgraded a few and downgraded a few according to different equipment they may have had in the past, whether it was better or worse. The breakdown is color-coded for easy reading, and you can download your own breakdown from our Twitter account at DFS fantasy, the number 4 cast. So the color coding: blue equals best, green equals good, yellow use caution, and red equals fade. So let's get to it. So number 1, we've got Kevin Harvick. He is priced at 11,500 on DraftKings. He is starting 20th. Last 4 races, he's got first place, 7th, and first place. Doesn't get much better than that. Yesterday, Harvick led 92 laps. Race before that, he led 22. Before that, 15. And before that, he led 108 laps. So, fire him up. I actually didn't update the win total, but that win total right there should say 4. Awesome. It does not affect his score because I already scored him with a blue rating there, so it's not going to affect the scorecard. All right, second, we got Brad Keselowski, another Ford. Kevin Harvick, Ford. Brad Keselowski, Ford. Keselowski was competing all day long for the lead. He finished in second place. Super fast car, 10,500. Fire him up. You can't beat these guys. In blue, these are all guys that are going to be in contention for the lead. I'm very confident that all of these guys in blue right here, the winner is going to come from one of these guys. The dominator is going to come from one of these guys. So you're going to have to fire these guys up. You're going to have to find some savings somewhere, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Brad Keselowski's teammate, Joey Logano, 10,200. He started on the pole yesterday, fell back to 8th place, but his car was fast. When he got back in the pack, he was able to charge up to the front in a very quick fashion. He is starting 13th today. He could very easily get up to the front within a lap or two. May even be the first lap because there's going to be a lot of slower cars in front of him. I do like Joey Logano again today, as I did yesterday. Then we got Chase Elliott, 9,600, starting 14th. He's really the only Chevrolet that was contending for the actual win yesterday. He did finish in 7th, but right there on the last lap, he was restarting in 3rd. He would have been restarting in 2nd. However, NASCAR has a new choose rule where the drivers can pick if they want to start in the outside lane or the inside lane on a restart. I'm kind of interested in it. It was fun to watch yesterday, so I'm not hating it, but it is definitely taking a little getting used to. But it was entertaining from a fan standpoint. Next, we get to Kyle Busch. He finally had a good run yesterday. He was actually leading the race there towards the end when Kevin Harvick's car got very, very close to his, took the air off, got his car very loose, and he had to check up or it was wrecking. And he fell backwards, still managed to finish in 5th place. When Kyle Busch has a race that he can get his car right, and then they're racing again the next day, I like those odds. Kyle Busch would be my number 1 Toyota for today that has the best possibility for getting the win and beating the Fords. So I do like some Kyle Busch today. I'll be firing him up. And he is the cheapest of the guys I have in blue that I feel will be in contention for the win. Next, we got Martin Truex Jr., finished in 3rd. He also was right up there. He actually fell a lap behind because of a tire issue and got that lap back, came storming back up to the front, So he also has a fast car that can move through the field, and he's starting in 18th position. He'll be able to move up very quickly. Then we got Denny Hamlin, also teammate of Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and Eric Jones in the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas. He also was fast yesterday. He was always restarting right up there near the front. He finished in 6th place. He also led 10 laps. He'll be starting 15th today. So he's got the car to move up. We got Ryan Blaney in a Ford, also a teammate of Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. Those Fords were fast all day Saturday. I have a lot of confidence in that team. That whole team was fast. He's coming in at 9,900, starting 17th. He finished 4th yesterday, led 27 laps, and he looked fast up there leading as well. So those are the guys in blue. And if you look, Kevin Harvick is the lone guy that is from Stewart-Haas Racing. The other cars from his team just did not do quite as well. Yesterday, they didn't do bad, except for Cole Custer, who wrecked. But you got Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, all three teammates. Then you got Chase Elliott, who's by himself up there. He's a Hendrick car. So his teammates, Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, William Byron, they all ran okay. But Chase Elliott was the only one that was competing for the win. So he's probably not going to have much help up here. I don't know if he'll need it or not. Kevin Harvick, he did not need any help yesterday from his teammates. He just dominated. He just had the car to do that. And then we got the Joe Gibbs Racing cars. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, those three teammates there. We're going to have Eric Jones down here. That's also their teammate. He's going to be starting in 10th. I don't really like that spot for him. He's going to get passed by these guys. Okay, so he's going to be dropping back a little bit. And then some of these other guys that are starting up near the front, they're the guys that finished closer in the 20th position yesterday, and they're going to be dropping back. It doesn't mean that they don't have that good of a car, but these were your guys right here. These were your guys that you wanted yesterday. Now, in the green, we've got Ryan Newman at 7,000 coming in a good value. He finished 28th yesterday. He is starting 28th. Ryan Newman got in a little trouble, small accident. He was still able to continue, but that small accident, it ruined his day. He was running okay yesterday. He wasn't really charging up to the front. He wasn't moving to the back. He was kind of just staying where he was. Starting in 28th position, he's going to move up. All right, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be moving up. Now, Austin Dillon, another value play at 6,500, starting in the 31st position. He got wrecked yesterday by Christopher Bell. He's going to move up from 31st position. There's a real possibility that he gets you a top 20, so he could definitely move up 10 positions, which would be enough to pay off his price point at 6,500. I feel very safe firing up Austin Dillon. Then we get to Matt Kenseth. Kenseth finished 17th. He started 20th yesterday. Now he's rolling off in 4th position. Like I said in the last show for yesterday's race, Kenseth in the past has ran extremely well here. He has a great average finish, but he retired after I think it was a 2017 season, and he came back, raced a few limited races, and now he took over for Kyle Larson right after racing resumed this year. It's a brand new team, no practices, but he did have yesterday's race to try and help get his car right. for his liking. He got a new crew chief just this week. So, starting in the 4th position, I'm not playing Matt Kenseth today. Now, I'm not saying that he can't stay up there, but the odds are not in his favor. Look for him to be moving back and finishing closer to this finish where he had yesterday at 17. So that's going to be more of a fade for me. And now we get to Kurt Busch, 8,800, starting in the 11th position. He's a Chevrolet. He's Matt Kenseth's teammate. So Kurt Busch has been running well. He stays right up there. Like yesterday, finished in the 10th. He started 10th. And that's probably where he's going to be today. At the 11th position, he's probably safe to stay right around the 11th position. He has the potential to move up. I don't see him moving backwards unless he gets in some kind of trouble. We did see a lot of tire wear yesterday, so there were several tire issues, and it could bite anybody. But Kurt Busch is usually pretty good about taking care of his tires. All right, now we got to Jimmie Johnson, 8,200. Decent run yesterday, finished in 12th. He was never in contention for the win. I don't know. His cars lately have just not been the cars that he needed. They were running great about a month ago, but they were getting caught up in wrecks. So he had the fast cars, but they were getting caught up in wrecks. Now he's finishing, but he's not getting the finishes that he's used to over years past, other than the past couple of years. So they've been kind of struggling over there with his team. He's starting 9th. There's not any room to move up. Chances are he's going to move back a little bit. He's probably going to finish around the 15th position. So Jimmie Johnson is not a driver that I'm looking to target today. Now we got Daniel Suarez. Now, he would be in the green, but like I said on the last show, use caution with Daniel Suarez. His stats, all these stats through here, except for yesterday, they've been with either Stewart-Haas Racing, a teammate of Kevin Harvick, or Joe Gibbs Racing, a teammate of Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Erik Jones. So he was in a lot better equipment. He is not now. He's only 5,900. He was a much better play yesterday because he was starting in, I think, 37th position. So he did move up to 24th. He's not moving up today. He's going to be probably moving backwards. There's some good cars that got into trouble yesterday. They're going to pass him immediately. So look for Daniel Suarez to more than likely be losing points rather than gaining. So not playing Daniel Suarez. Now we got Erik Jones at 8,000 starting in 10th. Nah. Erik Jones starting 20th. Yes. Erik Jones starting 10th. No, not doing it. Just not enough upside there for my liking. Doesn't mean he can't get up there and contend for the lead. He was up there all day yesterday. He finished in 11th position. So he was right there with his Joe Gibbs teammates. His car was strong. But when you look at all these cars right here that are starting behind him, they're going to pass him. He's going to be dropping. Now, he may finish right around that 10th position. But these cars up here are going to go by. He may finish. I'm going to predict Erik Jones finishes 13th today. That's my prediction. 13th. Now, Ryan Preece, 5,600. He's starting in the 25th position. He finished 25th yesterday. He started 35th. Dude was running well yesterday. I was very high on Ryan Preece yesterday, and he was not disappointing. But then he got wrecked a little bit, got shoved up into the wall, took on some damage. He was able to still finish the race, but his car was not as good. Ryan Preece is in a Chevrolet. He is a teammate of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and they were both fast yesterday. They just found trouble and dropped them back. But don't be scared to fire them up. Now, since he is starting 25th today, I don't like him as much as I did yesterday. But at 5,600, he is a value play that for 50-50s should be very safe. But I'm in my large GPPs. I may be looking elsewhere to try to maximize my points wherever I can. Like I said, today's lineups, the winning lineup in GPPs is going to be massive points, massive, because you've got all these great cars that are starting back that are going to be moving up the field and getting those points differential positions. So be cognizant of that. Now we get to Christopher Bell, the rookie, at 9,000. He's way too expensive for him to be starting in 8th position. He was strong yesterday. He was right up there with the leaders there for a while. He finished 13th, but he's going to get passed as well. He's just starting too far up. Christopher Bell, when he's starting 29th like he did yesterday or in the 30s, yep, fire me up. I don't mind paying that high price tag when he's starting that far back. Now we're going to get to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., one of my top picks from yesterday. He is more expensive today. He's at 7,300. I guess DraftKings saw how well he was driving before he cut a tire. He is starting 32nd, and he finished 32nd because of a cut tire, but he was right up there contending for the lead. Well, I won't say he was contending for the lead, but he was contending for a top 5. And he moved up the field quick also. So he started 32nd yesterday, and he moved up to the top 10 extremely quickly. So fire him up. Now, William Byron, 7,800, starting in 7th position. No, not playing William Byron, not starting in the 7th position. He finished 14th. He was never in contention for the win. He was never one of the top cars yesterday. He's not going to be today. However, he could. It is racing. Anything can happen. So I shouldn't say that he won't be contending, but I doubt it. I don't like William Byron today. Eric Amarola, another Ford teammate of Kevin Harvick. He struggled yesterday. He dropped. He never could get his car right. Those string of top tens that he's had, it wasn't happening yesterday. Now, he's got a good team. They could get that car straightened out. He could get up there and contend, get you a top 10. I don't think he's going to win the race for you, but a top 10 is feasible. He's starting in 5th position. Now, like I've been saying, you need to maximize your points where you can. I don't think you're maximizing by playing Eric Amarola unless he is able to get up there to the lead and lead maybe 20, 30 laps at the beginning of the race. That is possible, but I'm not really liking it that much. Um, I would actually rather go down to Clint Boyer right underneath him at 7,600, starting in 2nd position. It's more likely that Clint Boyer may get up there and lead some laps, more so than Eric Amarola. They are teammates of Kevin Harvick, both Fords. So they are in good equipment. They just did, neither one of them ran well yesterday. Clint Boyer finished in 19th position yesterday. It just didn't have it. Uh, that could change today. The teams work on the cars after the race, trying to adjust. So they could. It really doesn't help that much, I don't think, getting notes from Kevin Harvick's team, because Kevin Harvick's a different driver. And he likes a setup that's different than they like. And every driver is different in that way. So use caution with these guys. They're starting up front. They're starting up front because they did not have a good finish yesterday. So use caution. Tyler Reddick, rookie at 6,900. Chevrolet starting third. No, no, not doing that. Reed Sorensen, he's in the red. Don't use Reed Sorensen. He's starting in 30th position. Yeah, that's about right. He's going to finish at the 30th position probably again. He started 30th yesterday, and he finished 30th yesterday. There's no upside with Reed Sorensen. Alex Bowman, 8,400, starting 21st. That's where he finished. He started 6th yesterday. So I don't hate Alex Bowman starting in the 21st position. He does have some room to move up. I would actually probably like Alex Bowman, even though he's a caution play. I'd like him better than some of these guys that are up here. They're starting in the front. So not a terrible play. Chris Buescher, 6,700, starting on your poll. He's starting on the poll because he finished 20th. He's going to be dropping like a rock. He did not look good yesterday. Matter of fact, who did he wreck? I think he wrecked John Hunter Nemechek, who was having a pretty decent run yesterday. Chris Buescher, he's in a 4. He's Ryan Newman's teammate. They didn't have the speed yesterday. I'm not playing Chris Buescher. So that's going to be a total fade for me. Ty Dillon, 5,700, starting 23rd. That's about where he's going to finish. So it's not going to hurt you in points, but he's not going to be gaining really any from your differential points. Bubba Wallace, 6,100 on DraftKings. Finished in 9th yesterday, and he was sporty. He was right up there. He was contending at the end. Just dropped back a little bit. Looked really good. Starting in 12th position, he could very well contend again. I doubt it. Give me a Bubba Wallace that's starting in the 20s, and I'm firing him up. But he's starting 12th. Not a lot of upside there. So not a big fan of Bubba today. I did like him yesterday, but today, not so much. Matty D, way too expensive. Matty D, 8,600, starting in 6th position. Finished 15th yesterday. He started 15th yesterday. Starting 6th, he's going to drop back to 15th or more today. Way too expensive. Not going to get you the points you need. Not doing it. Josh Bilicki, no, don't play him. He's in crappy equipment. Cole Custer. Now, this one's interesting. Cole Custer, in his first race here, finished in 34th. He started 16th. He finished 34th because he got caught up in a race. He got somebody, I think, hit him from behind, and he backed up into the wall, and his car was out of the race. So he's down here in the yellow because only his one race here really hits the statistics. But starting in the 34th position, again, he is a teammate of Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Eric Amarola. He has good equipment. His car was it was kind of right there with Clint Boyer and Eric Amarola. It just didn't seem to have that much speed. However, starting in the 34th position, it has the speed to move up at least 10 positions, if not more. So your differential points, you can certainly gain using Cole Custer. I don't mind that play today. Much better than a lot of these other guys here. I would definitely play Cole Custer over his teammates Clint Boyer and Eric Amarola. They're just a lot more upside there in the same type of equipment. Now we're going to get to those guys that are in red that are just no's. No, 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 no. Do not play these guys. Corey LaJoie had a decent run yesterday. But he's going to be starting in 22nd. Started in 36 yesterday, finished in 22nd, so he moved up 14 spots. So if you played Corey LaJoie yesterday, he got you those differential points. Not going to happen today. Not starting 22nd. Dude's going to be dropping like a rock. He just doesn't have the equipment to compete. Quinn Huff, nope. Starting 27th, nah. Garrett Smithley starting 35th. Yeah, that's where he's going to finish. Michael McDowell, 29th. He just doesn't run well here. He did not run well here yesterday. He started 21st yesterday, finished 29th, so he'll be starting 29th. He may move up a couple of spots. There's no upside there. JJ Yelly, nope. John Hunter Nemechek, however, whoa. Let's take a look here. I am actually, let's see, let's change him to a yellow. I'll tell you why. He got caught up in a wreck because Stenhouse hit him in the back, and he ended up backing his car into the wall. So he's going to be in a backup car today, starting 36. He's a lot better than these guys. So he's going to move past those guys. Just like Cole Custer here, they got caught up in a wreck. He's going to be right there with Cole Custer. He's going to move up 10 or more spots. So the differential points are there to be had. I do like some John Hunter Nemechek. I don't mind firing him up. I was firing him up yesterday in some lineups. Those lineups still cashed because he was starting so far back. He started 31st yesterday. He only moved back to 36 after a wreck. So your risk is very minimal. So at 36, even if he wrecks out, he's still going to be positive in the points. It's one of these guys that are starting way farther up. If they wreck, they're going to end up in negative points. But these guys that start back here that have decent equipment, if they wreck, you're not losing anything because the differential points is very minimal that it's not going to go to the negative. So I do like some John Hunter Nemechek. Then we get to Brendan Poole. No, crappy equipment. James Davison, crappy equipment. Timmy Hill, crappy equipment. I know those price tags right there. Like, ooh, but they're not going to move up. There's no upside. I mean, James Davison starting 38th. What's he going to move up? Maybe 2 spots? There's no upside there. There's minimal risk because if he wrecks, well, he's already there. So he gets you, some very small positive points, but he's not going to get you what you need. All right, so that is our driver breakdown for today's race. Don't forget to like us on Twitter at DFS Fantasy, the number 4 cast. That's DFS Fantasy Forecast. You can find this breakdown cheat sheet on our Twitter account. You can download that for free. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like button so I can continue to crank out this killer content for you guys. This is the best in the industry that you are finding that is not behind a paid subscription. I would even put it up there at the top, even against the paid subscriptions, because this content is incredible. The only thing I don't have is an optimizer. If I had an optimizer, I would say this is absolutely number one, but I am giving you the optimal plays right here. I do the math, so you don't have to. You got to stay safe and stay cashing.